Good morning from day 4 of hiking. Heading up out of Unicoi Gap. Got Blessings and Scott back there, and then Gadget up front. So we are leaving Green Dragon and heading towards Springer. Blessings is slack packing and going back to Green Dragon tonight, and then the rest of us are all going to end up at various different points somewhere along trail. The worst of the hurricane and the associated rain is probably done, but it is going to rain on and off for the next couple of days, so that will be fun. Yeah, not sure what my plan is for distance today. It's probably going to somewhere like Hogpen Gap at least, which will be about 14-15 miles, and then seeing from there. So the there is the potential that I might jump out and go back to Green Dragon, but probably not. I am out here to hike and camp, so yeah, that's probably the plan. Everything is a little achy. Kind of forgotten what it's like to keep hiking every day and wake up. Kind of forgotten what it's like to get back to a hostel after a long day of hiking and be like, I can relax, and then remember that you've got all your chores to do. So, fun times. It's weird.
Or like a little like, don't go that way.
Yeah, weird to try and remember the all the ins and outs. But yes, so up out of Unicoi Gap, here's a straight up for a little bit, then should be fairly cruisy. But as a nice throwback to early days in Georgia, I figured I'd start recording so you can listen to me puff and pant up this hill. And as always, happy hiking.
Happy hiking.
Okay, about half a mile to the top of Blue Mountain. The blowdowns are a lot worse in this section than they were yesterday. I don't know if that's that they were worse affected, or if a lot more's fallen overnight. But keeping me busy clearing the trail as I go, so that's a little bit of fun. Although I've got to remember not to try and clear it with my right foot, the one with the stress fracture, which I've done a couple of times because I'm an idiot. But yeah, it's so this is the one kind of big up for the day, because then it's mostly up on the ridgeline once we're up there. And again, 90% spider webs, so that's fun. I'm gonna get to swallow the bug. Lovely. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is, but I remember it being pretty cruisy from here, or from the top of Blue Mountain, at least down into somewhere like Tesnati, which would be towards the end if I do it. So far, staying relatively dry, apart from it drips off of the green tunnel, and the water off of the stuff that we're picking up and clearing. So yeah, fun times.
And the revised plan.
So Blessings' initial plan, which was a good plan. It was a good plan. No, it was a good plan. It had multiple options, lots of resiliency, lots of redundancy.
First big plan.
Yeah, very good.
And
then we've cut it down to a bit more succinct plan today. But this is proof that Blessings
made a plan.
Is a planner. In fact, not just one plan, she made several plans.
Woo!
I don't know who she is. I think she's a skinwalker.
I am.
Okay, we've now tentatively agreed a plan of action to get Blessings over the finish line. Not that she needed a plan. She definitely doesn't need anyone's help. She is amazing, but trying to coordinate with everyone and figure out the logistics is tricky, especially when there's a lot of people who want to see you. And if you are a very, very cool person, like Blessings is, then lots of people are very keen to see you finish. You know, family, friends, family members, and so forth. So, yeah, it can be a little overwhelming in terms of like, oh, everybody, we're doing this, and what about this, and what about this? So, but what Gadget and I said to her, and she knew, is this is her hike, and finishing it in a way that works for her is absolutely important. So it looks like tentatively the plan is a relatively shortish day today. So 15 or just maybe 16 miles today. And then she's going to go back to the Green Dragon. And then from there over to potentially Woody Gap, which would be like a 17-mile day, where she could, in theory, do a slack pack if she wanted to get to above the clouds for one final hostel stay. And then after that, a 20-mile push from Woody Gap into Springer Mountain. And then family and friends could either park up at the Springer Mountain trailhead and then hike the mile up to Springer that way, or they could park down at Amicalola or the lodge, or a bunch of places that side, and then hike north to do that. So there's that. And then we will probably be staying the night at the Springer Mountain shelter, and then the following day do the approach trail down, so do another stop at Springer itself for more pictures for anyone who's arriving in the morning, and then hike down, do the approach trail, because she wants to do the approach trail, which is cool, and do the archway at the visitor centre, all of which will be very, very cool. So that, in theory, is a bit of a plan. It's a kind of 3-day plan, with some very manageable miles for her, because she is a badass hiker, and some pretty manageable miles for me, because I am less of a badass hiker at the moment, although I'm feeling pretty good today. So I think potentially my plan today is, sorry, I'm clearing stuff off trail as I go. Yikes, sorry, that was a little close. So tentatively my plan today is to go past Hogpenback Gap and maybe check out Whitley Gap shelter. Now Whitley Gap shelter is 1.2 miles off trail. So when we were hiking the AT, absolutely not the kind of thing that we would have contemplated going to visit, unless there was a very, very good reason to, because you don't want to do miles off trail. You're already doing enough miles on trail. Yeesh. But yes, so that might be a plan where Gadget and I might go and spend the night at that shelter and check out something a little different. But again, we'll see how people feel when we get there. But it's kind of cleared up a little bit, and then so there's not really fog or mist. Then we got a bit of a view back at Blue Mountain Shelter, which was where that video of Blessings happily holding up her plan comes from. Yeah, got a little bit of a view, which is nice. And now, now hiking on down. To say once we got to the top of Blue Mountain. Pretty sure the rest of it is going to be really cruisy. You know, little blips and blops, ups and downs, but nothing too tricky at all. So, don't know how much effort it'll take and how long it'll take, but we can just keep on hiking. In case you ever forget, Georgia is absolutely beautiful. Sorry, dealing with a blowdown. It's just, yeah, so pretty. Chattahoochee Gap. Pretty sure I remember this from the first time around. But yeah, and look at the trail is amazing. You know, I mean, there are some rocks, there are some roots, but nothing crazy. And it's definitely more, you know, it's rougher at the moment because of all the blowdown stuff. But yeah, this is just beautiful. And not to belittle it, but it's so nice to come back and do it when, you know, hiker legs are still kind of a thing. So first day out, certainly from Fontana, I know I definitely struggled. I think Gadget did a little bit too, because we talked about it. You know, and it was tough. It was hard work. It was slogging up, and in the rain and misery, everything wet. But yeah, obviously I'm still not as fit as I was when I finished trail. You know, a month resting my foot and doing considerably less exercising when I was doing exercise is, you know, it's definitely knocked a little bit out of me. But yeah, I'm obviously still a lot fitter than I was the first time I came through here. Again, I know it's difficult because it's a southbound versus going northbound, so the inclines are different and whatever. But obviously, I am a lot fitter, and it's still, you know, it's not necessarily easy. It's just very telling how not unprepared I was, but just the difference in, you know, if you were to get yourself in hill shape before you came out here, why maybe some people couldn't blitz great big miles straight off the bat. But look at this, with the sun shining through, just absolutely stunning. But anyway, enough of me rambling again. Time for me to do some more rambling. Amazing. It's so cool. I don't recall this being like this the first time around, but stunning. Okay, that's pretty beautiful, but also the trail is a river. yeah, just beautiful though. Okay, nothing much to update apart from the fact that this is so flat. I love it. I love a nice flat trail. It's not rocky, it's not rooty. I mean, there's rocks and roots, but not like very much. It's just almost perfectly flat. Ah, happy trail memories of when this was your manna from heaven, as a brief respite from the hills and stuff that I couldn't cope with back then. But now I can cope with them, but I still just prefer this. So yeah, it's a fun stroll. So I'm going to stop. Can't remember if I mentioned this. I'm going to stop for some lunch at a place called Low Gap Shelter, which is in about a mile. And that was one of the places that we camped the first time out. And it was a very, very rough day to get to Low Gap from Neal's Gap at the time. It was wet and rainy, wet and misty and horrible and grim. Sorry, just clearing trail again. And there's a couple of ups and downs in there that are crazy. So yeah, that'll be an interesting thing to spot. I've just seen a massive pile of poo, which I don't know, didn't look like bear poo. Looked kind of like human or dog, I guess, maybe. But I don't know if there are humans or dogs out here at the moment. And it was right on trail. So, and we'll see. I'm still kind of hoping to see another bear at some point on this trip. Mainly because I want to see a bear and I want to get it on camera this time. I say mainly, I want to see another bear and get it on camera, but mainly I want Gadget to see a bear because she didn't see one on the whole AT, and that would be such a happy moment for her, I think. So I know you're watching this in the future, so what you do will have no bearing on this, but yeah, you just give a little thought and a little good luck to Gadget, her ever desperate hope for bear footage. Yeah.